A team that's really got me wondering what their potential next move this offseason is going to be happens to be the Atlanta Hawks, because I think for a long time now, the last couple seasons, they have been called the most mid or average team in the NBA. Like, I believe a season or two ago, they finished with like a 41-41 record. It's just a really interesting thing that they've got going on right there, and there's still a lot of really easy moves I think they can make to really turn it around and build off the low-key impressive young core that they had going on with that Atlanta Hawks team. And in today's video, I will be talking about who I think they should be selecting with their lottery pick that they, of course, do have in the 2024 NBA draft. Again, at the time of making this video, we don't know what the lottery is. We don't know if the Hawks were one of the lucky teams to win or unlucky teams to fall. Again, I will be just going based off standings, as that's all we know. And at the time of making this video, they of course do have the 10th overall pick. I also do highly recommend, if you're wondering why I didn't take a certain player with this pick that you guys might have thought would have been perfect for Atlanta, it might have just been because I have already taken him with another pick at a higher selection. So again, I do highly recommend you guys go and check out my official 2024 NBA mock draft, which will be linked in the description down below. That's why you guys will be all up to date if you go and do that. But I guess without further ado, here's who I think the Atlanta Hawks should select if the 2024 NBA draft were to happen today. With the 10th overall pick now, we do of course have the Atlanta Hawks, who, I mean, they're definitely going to be going off best available. They're going to have a really interesting off-season. I'm super keen to see who gets traded from this team and who stays. They're actually low-key building, though, I think, still a pretty impressive young core that no one really talks about, which is pretty unfortunate. But it so happens there is a guy right now available at this pick who, it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes to the NBA and how he converts. Will he be really good? I'm not sure, but I do know he could be an absolute huge steal for them if so, and that is of course Ron Holland. Again, I think people forget that this guy at one stage had people talking about him being a potential pick one of this draft. Of course, he is a 6'8" small forward / power forward, ranked by some places at 12, ranked by other websites at 6. Again, I've got him going near in the middle of number 10. Of course, is being said to be one of the most well-rounded athletes in this draft class. He's extremely fast, he's strong, and he can jump out of the gym with great hops. He has the ideal frame for a wing / forward in the NBA, being 6'8", with long arms and a lot of muscle. He's an elite scorer in transition, gets down the court fast, great mover off the ball. He's a great driver and an extremely good finisher around the rim. And of course, he's a really, really good perimeter defender who can stay in front of his man and contain anyone from bigger guards to big forwards. Again, unfortunately, there are of course some downsides. I mean, I've said everything that's so great about this guy. There's just a lot of things that aren't good. And I think that's where his rank of potentially being a pick one kind of dropped. But of course, it's being said, he's not a great passer. He can be turnover prone, so just potentially sometimes not good with the ball in his hands. His three-point shot isn't consistent at the time of making this video. And of course, his shot creation can also be a little bit inconsistent. But again, I think with maturity, leadership, and coaching, especially in the NBA, where not necessarily everything is on your shoulders like it might be for him to be the number one man, like it is for him where he actually plays in the NBA G League Ignite team. I think going to the NBA and playing with a guy like Trae Young, who still does not get the recognition he deserves as a really good shot creator and shooter, who is also very calm and steady with the ball in his hands. I think going and working under a guy like that, working under a guy like DeJounte Murray, and some good coaching, underrated coaching potentially from Quinn Snyder as well. There's no reason that a guy who is already an elite off-ball player, who can be very good with the ball in his hands, great driver, great finisher, a great perimeter defender, which is always extremely handy in the NBA, a great scorer. There's no reason why all of that, you know, it can't be something really good in the NBA. And again, turning the ball over and not being a good passer, that can sometimes suck, but that can be really easily fixed in the NBA with just composure and coaching. So I think you can already write those two off. Again, the ones that concern me is his shot creation being inconsistent and three-point shot not being good. It's definitely not great, but again, I think he can absolutely learn, and there's no reason why he couldn't do and be a very good player, of course, in the NBA. So again, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Atlanta Hawks to make this selection. You obviously, while doing this pick as well, I think it gives you more room to see what you want to do with your other players. You know, some players like DeAndre Hunter have been on the trade market. Kevin Huerter previously was one of those guys. A couple other players here and there might join that conversation. But even if they don't, they still need depth at that wing position anyway. And look, will he start, especially even straight away? Probably not. Will he ever start? Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, right now, you're adding a really good young player who has pick one potential over him, and at one stage was supposed to be that guy, to come in and add depth and already join this already pretty decent Atlanta Hawks team that just really suffers from not having much depth. Again, it's got a decent starting five, a couple extra things here and there to add. I think it can be a pretty solid team, and I think that, you know, adding a guy like Ron Holland does fix a lot of their issues. So, of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. What do you guys think about this mock draft? Do you guys like it or do you guys not? Again, I highly recommend, like I said earlier, to go and check out my previous ones, which were linked in the description down below. Again, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and this one, of course, if you haven't already. Links for that gaming one will be in the description down below. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below, guys, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.